Baggage claim. I woke up this morning with an image of the baggage I've been carrying around with me for my entire life. It wasn't a designer set of luggage or a sleek and efficient briefcase. No, mine showed up as an I Love Lucy burlap sack with 2 big bowling balls in it. And I've been hauling this thing around. I mean, think about it. How much micromanaging would that take? No padding, no support, no structure to hold the weight of the balls. So I'm juggling all the time, tripping over myself, using up so much energy just to hold onto them in their slippery sack. Contemplating this image, I get a newsflash. Weight and energy are the 2 things I could use more of inside my body. So I decide to eat the sucker. I alchemize the bowling balls and burlap sack into an elixir, melting down the dense black into an apricot almondine champagne garnished with edible flowers. No wonder I'm tired, trying to do everything and carry around this ridiculous sack of bowling balls. Yesterday I was practicing 5 animals playing in the 6 healing sounds, and for the first time, the actual animals showed up in my organs. They took up residence like Wild Kingdom in my body. And now the bowling balls. Maybe these animals like to bowl. So I decide to create room for this new food by letting my animals make their sounds to clear the space. Sss goes the white tiger, the spirit of my lungs. Choo says the blue bear, the spirit of my kidneys. Shh says the green deer, the spirit of my liver. Says the red crane, the spirit of my heart. Says the yellow monkey, the spirit of my spleen. The sounds feel great as they clean out my body and I start to amp it up. I dance my brains out and get these animals some satisfaction, yelping, growling, howling, leaping and lumbering, black bowling balls pulverizing into tiny golden vitamin pills that melt into my body like tasty tidbits of toast and apricot jam. Oh baby, 1 minute I'm Mick Jagger, the next Queen Elizabeth. And there it is, the two-ness, the odd polarity. The light bulb in my brain turns on with a sudden thought. I wasn't supposed to be born, the twin was. So is that who I've been carrying around? Me and my phantom twin in the amniotic sac? Sloshing around in my mother's womb, hearing her wish for a boy instead of a girl, or twins so she can get it over in one clip? And somewhere in the 3rd or 4th month, something happens. The twin dissolves, disintegrates, disappears into the uterine walls, or possibly into me. Yes, they found tiny fetuses in grown people. Shit, am I a cannibal? My stomach lurches toward the next horrifying thought. Is this why I chose to set music to every word of that weird play in Musical Theater 101 called The National Enquirer? Carlos Cordoba kills Pal and eats pieces of his flesh? Is that why I went to college in Ohio in the first place? Because my paternal great-grandfather, who I knew nothing about at the time, was born there. He got tuberculosis and left for California so that he could work in the open air. He founded the Pacific Bridge Company in 1870, but expired at a young age. So it's just possible that he reincarnated as my twin who died in the womb, and now his spirit's been haunting me. And maybe that's why I got sick and had to leave the city for the open air. And why I fell so in love with the Roebling Bridge, which looks like a piano. And why I had an emergency appendectomy right after making music for the bridge. And why the cat named Shadow crawled under my porch and died while I was having my appendix out. Did you know that the placenta is sometimes called the shadow? And there I am in the amniotic sac, sad without my twin brother and scared it might happen to me next. Scared I'll be murdered, or worse yet, scared I'm the murderer. All the while creating new cells that have become embedded reporters recording the story in my DNA. Tell me, Miss Jackson, in retrospect, was it really a twin conception, or might it have been the placenta you became so attached to and merely thought was your twin? You know, they've seen the baby in the placenta doing a dance, and the placenta actually makes singing sounds. And I swear my piano is my placental source of blood power and ferocious love, as well as my teddy bear that I won't let anybody put in the washing machine. My piano is the dance partner I hang on to when I do the Lindy Hop, but it's also been, for some reason, my ball and chain. And sure enough, the placenta can sometimes be a poisonous placenta, which shows up in dreams as a wicked witch who lives in a treehouse, or a scary sea monster, It's the nurturer, destroyer, giving and taking away. You love it, you hate it, the ultimate mixed message. At which point the intrepid female reporter pipes up. Getting back to the twin story, Miss Jackson, how do you propose to solve the case of the vanishing twin? Do you have any leads? There were no sonograms in 1949 when I was born. But now they've discovered that many conceptions begin as twins and only one fetus survives. It's actually quite common, and they call it the vanishing twin syndrome when it shows up in your life. Like when you get a great idea for a Halloween costume when you're 9 years old. 9 months, 9 years, get it? You get your best friend, Pam, to do it with you. You dress up in blue leotards, blue tights, blue veils, blue lipstick, blue nail polish, and your mom sews glittery plastic musical notes onto your leotards. You are identical twins, you're the blues. And maybe a few months later, still 9 years old, you fall on your face running for home base and knock your 2 front teeth loose. Only one tooth survives. The other dies and needs a root canal. The thing is, you're overly excited that day because 2 friends are celebrating their birthdays after school with a twin birthday party that you cannot wait to go to. But you're such a mess, face swollen, black and blue, bloody gravel in your gums, that you don't get to go to the party. Or maybe years later, when you do your first jazz concert at Carnegie Recital Hall, you buy 2 dresses. One is an elegant navy blue number with spaghetti straps. The other one reminds you of the twin dresses that your Aunt Marion made for you and your younger sister one Easter. Bright orange with tiny white polka dots on the netted puff skirt. You wear the navy one and keep the other dress for years, but you never wear it. Or maybe you get really good at morphing into people. So throughout your life, strangers come up to you and the friend you're with and ask, "Are you twins?" Or maybe when you're a teenager, you daydream about getting married and being pregnant and arranging to adopt a baby at the same time so the twins can grow up together. Or maybe wherever you live, you always leave one room empty. Or maybe whenever you look in the mirror, you have the feeling that you're searching for someone. Or maybe you have problems with one side of your body, like your right arm. Or maybe in your 40s, you have 2 consecutive boyfriends named John, both born in 1956 in Michigan, both having been left by their wives for someone named Michael. You begin to think of them as the twin Johns. And eventually, because you started paying attention, life reveals to you that one of them, the John who designed art case pianos and rolled under your piano the first time you hung out, was the twin who died in the womb with you. And then years later, because you're still paying attention, you discover that in a previous lifetime, you were the twin who vanished. You meet your twin sister when you're 24 years old and she's 33. You're both piano players. She's 9 years older, and you never have a clue until 42 years later, after she dies, when she sends you a very clear message, which is a total surprise, that you were her twin who died in her mother's womb. So this is my ceremony. I carry my burlap sack to an awaiting hot air balloon, cast off the sandbags, cut the cords, and wave goodbye to my 2 bowling balls. As they rise over the Roebling Bridge, the barge canal, now birth canal, with hammers and strings, 3 icebreakers for pedals, river the soundboard, mountains the piano case, sky the piano lid. And then I swim in ancestral waters, dive heart first into love's fire, and I let Rumi reprogram my DNA. This is love. To fly toward a secret sky, to cause 100 veils to fall each moment. First, to let go of life. Finally, to take a step without feet.